Can I holler at you? Let me holler at you. Yeah, I know it's been a while, but hey.
For my subs, I'm sorry that I'm late. I know my live was supposed to start at 6. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm here now. Give me a few minutes, and I just gotta get things together. But for whoever is logging in now to my live, thank you. Again, I'm about 40 minutes late to the live, and my apologies to you. My apologies. I'm sorry for being late. I am sorry. This won't happen again. I respect your time. I respect my time. But as we know in this life that time and things often get, it's not always a perfect situation. And it will never be a perfect situation. And so we're not in the pursuit of perfection, because we know that that's race and futility. But what we are in pursuit of is the divine. We have the power and we have the control to change our lives. We matter. We make a difference. We count. I don't know what else to say, but the topic today is about relationships, okay? Excuse me. So the video that I'm going to be presenting, well, it's not a video, we're live, right? And so the topic today is relationships. And that's a broad title, right? That's a huge umbrella, right? And so that's cool, but we want to look at relationships in ways that they help, they hinder, they make us grow, or they keep us stuck. So it's just, there's a duality, right? Because in life we know everything is an ebb and flow, right? There's a yin and yang, right? And so there's relationships, pardon me, for my, So there are relationships that help you, and there are relationships that hurt you. There are relationships that force you to grow. And there are relationships that you breathe. You don't grow. In reality, you decrease in your energy and your happiness and your attitude. So my topic for this whole week, especially leading up to the new year, that we really assess the relationships in our lives, the relationships that we have, be they family relationships, whether they be work relationships, whether they be personal relationships. Hold on, I'll be right back. Actually, I don't promote other music. I'm gonna put on my brother's music where I have all rights to his music, and I have copyrights, I have written rights, I have all the rights. Hold on, I'm gonna play Young Ace. That's my brother, Young Ace. Okay, and his message is very near and dear to my heart. It's very pertinent. I believe that many of us that may come from a certain life, you can get with it too. Listen to the words. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, so I'm sorry, but the sounds that you hear in the background, and I'll turn it down. It's my baby brother, Young Ace, JUNGACE. Check him out, okay? And so, for the most part, until if and I don't know what the divine has for me, but if I become someone famous or someone like with some acclamations outside of what I know who I am, and I don't care about that. Like, my goals to be who I am, to love the way I love, um, to have the appointment, right, of service. Listen, I didn't put that on me. I came into this existence with these markers, with these predilections, with these, I don't know, with these attributes that would always be acknowledged, would always come to fruition in some way or another. But yeah, so I'm gonna play a little bit more of my brother's music. And he's an artist out of West Side Brooklyn, Young Ace. He's had affiliations with Mano, Hustle Hard. He's collaborated with many other artists, but for the sake of, I guess, notoriety, if you will, he was an artist under Mano, Best Side, Brooklyn, Hustle Hard, and so that's it. I'm from Brooklyn, I'm from Best Side, so Brooklyn is always going to be a part of me. It's always, no matter where I go in this world, nothing's going to change. And my sister's in Texas, I have family all over. But at the end of the day, we're from Brooklyn. That's what it is. That's what it's always going to be. And so I'm thankful, and grateful. It's all good. But let's move on. So the topic today is relationships. I'm sorry to my subs. I'm sorry to my viewers. I know the video was set initially for 6 p.m., but it didn't work out that way. But hold on. There's my brother's music is going to play in the background, okay? But it's a particular song that I want to get to. So give me a second. Hold on. I know it's a lot, but it's the holidays. It's about endings. It's about beginnings. It's about the best of us. It's about the worst of us. It's about just living in the moment, being present, not necessarily worrying about yesterday or today or what's tomorrow's gonna come, but just literally like acknowledging, okay, I'm breathing. Guess what? That's a sign. That's a way that you show gratitude. Listen, I'm able to feed myself. I'm not hungry tonight, right? Like I'm not going to my bed starving. And if I am, it's because I choose to do so. It's the little things. It's the inner things, my conscious ones, my dear hearts who are not yet so conscious, but you're on your way. Okay? And so we're at the end of the year and it's been rough. It's been crazy. It's been frightful. Not so much delightful. Maybe for some. But it's been a never-ending battle of like highs and lows. One day you read the news, the next day you go to your bed, you hear this, you hear that, you read this, someone says that, and suddenly you can't even appreciate, acknowledge, accept anything in your world because the outer world is screaming it's a nuclear bomb going outside of our lives, right? And so not only do we have to deal with like politics and the scary stuff. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't even want to say that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but when you know, like the things that I see in this time, I would have never forethought, there was no foreshadowing, or maybe to some, but I'm an 80 baby. And so I grew up believing for the most part that, everything that was said was true. And I believe that, you grow up, you go to school, you work hard, you get a good job, you find a relationship, you find, you build your life, and all that's bullshit. That's a lie. I didn't know that it had nothing to do with what I decided to do with my life. It had nothing to do with the relationships. It had nothing to do with any of that. And so we've been lied to. We've been bamboozled. We've been led astray. We've been inundated and beat with a stick of a false reality. And so it's no wonder why so much of us are unhappy. How many of us are unfulfilled. How many of us are in the wrong places and the wrong energies and the wrong spaces and the wrong relationships and the wrong our thoughts are wrong, our lives are wrong, our all we know is wrong. What do you do when you've been lied to your whole life? When you've been told that be a good girl, be a good boy, be good to people, be kind to people, give, be charitable, be kind, take your time, don't be angry, don't be quick to judge. What do you do when none of those things have accounted for anything? When you've lived this life of doctrine, you've gone by this philosophy, this way of life, whether it has been installed on you by your parents, whether you've learned it on your own, whether you went to the military, whether you went to your grandparents, whoever instructed you in life, it's wrong, because now you find yourself at 30 plus years old, 40 plus years old, 50 plus years old, 60 plus years old, and you're disgusted. Let's keep it real. You are unsatisfied. You are unfulfilled. You are unhappy. For some of us, we've had relationships for 10 and 20 years that it was the same as it was the first day as it is now, and that's not a good thing. Meaning that it hasn't grown. You're just occupying space. You're just on autopilot going through the motions, because where's the growth? What can you tally up? What can you statistically put together and I don't know, numerically, in terms of data, in terms of statistics, what can you put together in your life? What graph can you present? What tally can you present? What notepad can you present to say, listen, you've done the work. You haven't done the work. So why are you mad? Why are you surprised? Why does it, why can't you understand that you're gonna keep going through these bad situations? Like, you're gonna keep going through these horrible relationships. And it's not about, oh, who am I? Oh, what did I do? Oh, I'm just this. Or even for my fellas, yo, I'm good. I make money. You know what I mean? I got good, packages. Like, that doesn't matter. When will you realize that it's never going to be something that you do, something that you can fulfill. No, it's going to start with you. And so that's why you'll have the hottest girl in town that's single with maybe a kid or two and maybe divorced once or twice, right? And that's why you'll have the hot guy that has maybe never gotten married and his whole life has just been reduced to a continuous cyclical life of rotating women and then he's still not happy, right? So what do you do when you understand that the relationships that come into our lives, that we bring into our lives, that are meant for our lives, are not so much indicative on who we are? Like, you could be the best beauty girl, the best hot guy. That doesn't mean you're gonna be happy. That doesn't mean you're gonna get a perfect life, a perfect relationship. It does not matter. Okay? Because for the most part, the relationships that you have been in have been awful. Like, let's be real. You can be the best person. You're the most awesome person. You're the most lovely guy. You're the most awesome gal. You're a guy that works hard, that, has material wealth, and, you are smart and whatever. And for the girls and the gals, you have looks, you have body, yada, yada. You even have education. But why aren't you happy? Why have you had these repeated relationships that have not proved to be worthy, that have not proved to be mutually beneficial? Why haven't you had these relationships that have allowed you to grow, that have aided in your advancement, in your consciousness, in your betterment? Gentlemen, why every relationship you get, it's a crazy chick, right? It's all popping in the beginning. Shorty is fire, body is nice, everything's lit. But then she turns out to be a crazy girl. Like, why do every relationship you have always ends in a woman going off the hinge? Is it so much about that woman? No. Look at you. It's something about you. It's something about you that perhaps you are for men, maybe you are a thought. You are something that someone misses. Maybe you are the father that a woman never had. Maybe she sees you as the big brother as a single child and she didn't have siblings. Maybe you are remind her of that favorite uncle. But who are you to a woman? Are you just there to engage in your singular wants, your pleasures? What do you seek relationships for? How do relationships work for you? How do they enrich you? How does excuse me. Sorry. How are you as a single man versus, excuse me, in a relationship? How do you value your time? How do you see your resources? Are you a man that gets into a relationship and feels like, it's nothing for you to give? A woman has to give. Are you a man that understands that it takes two, and so you see yourself in a woman, equally sharing, equally providing, equally bringing? Or are you just a fucking nut, that may have gone through whatever, and it's like, you know what? I don't give a F. A woman is only here for pleasure. She's only here to provide a need, to provide a want. Shame on you, low life. Shame on you, you know. Low vibrational energy entity. Shame on you. Learn, grow. Because at the end of the day, a woman's worth would never be tied up in a physical aspect. Distribute, we teach, we give, and so that's the true nature of a woman. And the true nature of a man, I believe, is to support, is to solidify, is to anchor, right? So if you're a man in a relationship and you're not the anchoring force, get the hell off of my page. Get off of it. And I'm sorry. I said that everybody will be respected, but honestly, unless you have a physical disability, unless you have a learning disability, unless there is something that extracts you from the majority, and there's something that causes an issue for you to operate and live in a fully functioning way, then you're the exception. But for the men that's listening to my voice, okay, for the men that are able-bodied, okay, listen, what relationships, how has relationships played a role in your life? You know, is it the fact that you haven't had a mom, you didn't have a dad, maybe you had a mom and a dad, but life was hard and rough and tumultuous, and for some foolish reason, you believe that you, at your age, at your time, at your point in time, you were able to get out of it, right? You were able to find a better answer. And perhaps you may have been successful in that, right? But I'm talking to the men in this time, having this experience, being a conscious soul, having a physical experience. How do you develop relationships? Are they a result of your past? Do you choose women according to the women that you've known, to your upbringing, to your family's history? Do you choose women that are different from your family's history and what you know? How has your relationship with women played a role in your life? What were the aspects of your female relationships with in your past? What were they like? And so it's important when we talk about relationships, we go to the beginning, because none of us just become or act in ways or behave or are conditioned. It's a process, it's a conditioning. So, regardless to the ways and the times that relationships have hurt us, they have helped us. Maybe we have been the one in relationships to hurt. Maybe we've caused pain unbeknownst to us, right? And so it's important to understand ways in which we seek relationships and how they manifest, how they are assessed, how we look at them, right? And so a good relationship, normally we tend to be happy. In a bad relationship, we tend to be unhappy. But it's bigger than that. It's bigger than Nino Brown, right? And so we gotta look past the actions and look to what led up to that. So why does a man choose a relationship with a woman that's overbearing, a relationship with a woman that is emotionally abusive? Why does a man end up in a relationship? Not so much he seeks this, but he finds himself in a relationship with a woman that is not encouraging, is not supportive, is not kind and nurturing, right? So we ask ourselves, how does this man of intelligence, this man of stature, this man of ascension, of higher consciousness, of faith, of all these things, of love, of how does he end up in this? But we look at the situation and we tend to not put forth the same energy to understand why, right? And so why he does this could be a plethora of reasons. It could be that he never received love from his mother. He never had a positive connection with females in his lives, i.e. his mom, sisters, aunts, what have you. And so what is a man to do when they've had no real experience, and the experience, and if any, they were negative? So how does a man interact or understand or appreciate the opposite sex, women, when he has no knowledge, no forethought, no understanding, no connection to a woman? What do you do? So this takes me to the point where we have to have grace. We have to have forgiveness. We can't just assume that, oh, because we're this way. And let me be the first to tell you, I was one of those people that was always kind of put up on, well, you know, I'm an honest person and I'm a loving person and I'm a kind person. And so I'm expecting that in return. Yeah, really? That was the matrix in me thinking. Because at the end of the day, you can never anticipate, you can never know for sure or for unsure what one's thoughts are, regardless and despite who you are. And so I think that when you find yourself as a person of like integrity and goodness and honesty, and so that's how you operate. That's like your day to day. It's nothing fancy. It's like you're breathing air, you know. And when people lie to you and people mislead you and people are nasty, you know, you're stuck sitting back like, what the F? Like, I don't believe. How dare this person lie? How can they be you know, why? You know, and the reality of it is, love, conscious ones, that for the most part, people will never be who you are. The love you give, the care you give, the sacrifices that you give, yeah, people sacrifice, people care, but to the extent in which you do it, especially when you know you're that person that goes in, you sacrifice, you know, there's not many times in your lives that you said no, even when it didn't serve you. And that's not what it's about. When I say like you give and you don't get nothing in return, I don't mean like, okay, I'm giving to something and I automatically expect it, you know, somebody to do something for me. No, it's not that. Small minds. No. Escúchame. Listen to me. It's not about that. It's about expounding energy. It's about giving love. It's about showing your authenticity. It's about making those sacrifices and being the person who you are, because you're a given person, because you're a kind person. That's just your nature. So it's never going to be something or someone or you know, a situation. Listen, you are who you are before you got here, right? And so if you're a giver, you're always going to be a giver. If you are a mean person, without help, without guidance and truth, perhaps you're always going to be a mean person. But for the people that are selfless, for the people that show up, that give even when they don't have, right? That look for the good, even in the most dire situation, that still seems to find the strength after they've been down, after you've been hurt, after you've been betrayed. You still show love. You still show kindness. You still give the benefit of the doubt. You still throw a little trust out there. When all you've known is disloyalty, hurt, pain, lies, suffering, turmoil. What do? But you still find your way. Because guess what? The best part of this life, if you will, is that every day, every second, every minute is a moment to reflect and to get it right, to do it better, right? To see it in a new way, to choose a new idea. What do? Malconscious ones. And so let's get back to the topic of relationships. Relationships hurt, they heal, they hinder, they make us, they break us, they teach us. What are some of the relationships in your life that have helped you, that have taught you, that without them perhaps you wouldn't be where you are? But what about the relationships that hurt you, that hindered you, that kept you in the darkness, that kept you stuck, that kept you blue, and that kept you from you? What about those relationships? And so I'm going to use this half an hour, 30 minutes I have left to just shed light on the importance of relationships and how they can help us and how they hurt us and they hinder us. Why do we stay in relationships that hurt us, that strain us, relationships that belittle us, relationships that tears us down physically, emotionally? Why do we deal with relationships that take but does not give? Why? How? When? Will it end? When will be the day? When will be the moment? When will be the hour that we recognize, that we reject, and that we renounce? That it ends, that it stops, that it will not be another day, that we will live beneath our purpose, that we will be subjected to unkindness, that we would engage in a lie, that we will continue to cheat ourselves, that we will continue to hurt ourselves and not better ourselves. relationship, the relationship you're in, they gotta go. You have to leave. I know it's a lot. I know it hurts. I know the very thought of it you can't even conceive. But until you get out of that relationship, you'll never have peace. You'll never feel free. You'll never feel a cool breeze or the warmth of the heat of life. You will never be who you are as long as you stay stuck and trapped in that relationship. That relationship that has drained you, that has beaten you down, that has made you even physically sick. When are you gonna stand up? When are you gonna have enough courage and enough love for your own self to love you and to go and to end it? Because it's not love. How can he love you? How can she profess her love when she hurts you? When he puts you down? Even maybe when he hits you or she throws something at you. What do you do? And that may be all you know. But New Life War Evolution is here to tell you that it's a new day. It's a new day. And it's a new way. And you don't have to deal with that. Listen, you've been through more than that. How much crap are you going to put up with in your life? How much? Until you wake up, value yourself, look at yourself in the eyes of the divine, and know that you are worthy. When does it happen? No one's going to tell you. It's not going to be a dream. It's not going to be a vision. It's not going to be something that you stumble across on your way home from work, in traffic, or on your lunch break, or on the summer vacation that you're taking with your family, while you're unhappy, while you're unfulfilled. When is it going to happen? When are you going to go to the light? When are you going to recognize the light and recognize that it's your time? The relationships have to go. I don't care if it's 30 years. I don't care if it's 40 years. I don't care if it's 50 years. I don't care if it's from the cradle. If it's not good and you're not happy and it hasn't been a positive, motivating force in your life, if it hasn't been a contributing factor in your life for your betterment, for your happiness, contributing toward your peace and your wholeness, it doesn't matter. Let it go. Let it go. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional because I can remember myself, and I'm always going to keep it real with my subs, my conscious ones. I can remember myself in a lengthy relationship, one in which started off bad from the beginning. You know what it is when you start out bad. And it was imbalanced.
You're watching a two.
I was here, he was there. There's no disrespect, but I was a fully functioning human being, able-bodied, working, progressing, providing, and he was someone who was just kind of existing, right? And so many times, as women, as men, especially when you come from a place of pain, of hurt, they say hurt people, but I would disagree. And I would say many hurt people love people in spite of their hurt. Many hurt people, in fact, do hurt people, but a large majority love people. And because they're hurt, they make excuses. They live in things less than them. They accept less than them because they love. And for the most part, they don't have or never really had that strong support and solid foundation, you know? And not to say that they've never known love, because I've known love. I had a mother, I had a father, and they both loved me dearly. And so I know about love, but they unfortunately made many choices in their lives that led to them not being here. And perhaps it wasn't even their choices that led them, or perhaps, like I said, everything is a journey. Everybody has a mission. So perhaps it wasn't even their lifestyle that caused their demise. But I would like to think that it was a bit of that, but a bit of timing, right? And when it's your time, it is your time. Nothing can take over. Not all the tea in China, not all the money in the world. And oh my God, my conscious ones, I want you to understand this. I hope you get the message. But I'm sorry, but again, I need to get back on because I have about 12 minutes left for this live. But I want to say that, reiterate the fact and the point and the reason behind the video was to touch basics on relationships. And these are not just relationships of a romantic nature, but they're relationships in all aspects of our lives. They're family relationships, they're romantic relationships, there's personal relationships and friendships. Friendships and work. But, excuse me, ultimately, there's one very, very important relationship. And I believe that it's overlooked many times, and society has wickedly and unfortunately and unkindly, brainwashed us with these things that really matter to keep us from the soul purpose, our soul, divine mission, which is always going to be love and light, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through. This is New Life Revolution, and I'm here to participate and to share the love and the light of the conscious collective. For more videos like this, subscribe to my channel, like, share, tell a friend, and tell a friend, and tell a friend. Like, you know, it's a dope channel out there. New Life Revolution. It's a cool chick that, you know, talks about this and that, but it's always going to be for the collective. It's always going to be for the betterment. I'm under 10 minutes. So this is kind of just a progression from my video. Check it out about the winter solstice and how the new year, January 1st, is not really the new year, and how it is actually celebrated on a specific day, but not to get caught up in a specific day, but to understand and analyze the meaning. And so this is the winter solstice. It's just began. We're just 2 days in. And this was a time where it's all about renewal, rebirth. It's all about rejuvenation, refreshing, reset, if you will. But not to forsake and to negate the importance of the endings. So this season, I would suggest all my viewers, all my subs, whatever you are ending, end it. Give it the same grace, give it the same compassion, give it the same love. Whatever's ending, end it and release it with love. And when you release it with love and you release it with compassion, then you can rest. You can rest assured that you've done your part, that you've acted out of love, kindness, and out of harmony. And so when you rest, everything renews, everything rejuvenates, everything transforms. So my conscious ones, I would heed and I would suggest that at the end of this year, you don't look at it so much as, oh, you know, you're focused on the New Year's resolutions and the New Year. That's all fine and dandy, but you can't go from 0 to 60. You know, life is a journey of 1,000 miles that begins with a single step. And that's by Sun Tzu. Look them up. But you can never go from 1 to 100. So you can never jump into the newness and the beginning without acknowledging and respecting and thanking the past and the ending. Well, I hope that you take these suggestions into heart. I wish you enlightenment. I wish you awakening, higher consciousness, and to know that despite the year, whether it's this time, whether it's the new year, the end of the year, Valentine's, whatever, all of these holidays, all of these things don't matter. What matters is us, who we are, the individual, right? So let's check in with ourselves. Who are we? Who were we? Who are we? Who are you?